Different, don't get bad. High difference of my winning. Show do good, not that swing. Yeah, I got nice vision. All my brothers. Hey, it doesn't make sense to me, dude.
Sean here. I promised yesterday I wasn't trying to touch the poop. I know it was like talking to a brick wall, and my son said, "Dad, I know you want to help, but why'd you make that? You know he's not going to listen." Of course he's not. But I do wonder what his home life is like. I do wonder sometimes what happens when the camera's off. I don't really know. But I do think, and this is just my opinion, that my guy is wearing adult diapers now. How many times did we see on stream where he's just sitting there and his face freezes like a baby when they're pooping, like they could be going, and they freeze? Like if you have kids, you know what I'm talking about. And guys, you know the fart face when a guy's talking like, "Hey, you know, Bob, so we're going to the thing." I do wonder if he has adult diapers. Another thing I wonder is how the hell do Sally and Ed tolerate all that screaming? What kind of restrictions? Don't you ever say the word restriction to me again, Lauren Armstrong. Seriously, what kind of restrictions have they tried to put in place? And how quickly does he break them or just ignore them? I've been frustrated with my child at times. You know, my son, my daughter, she's always a good girl, but my son, he's too much like me, you know, rambunctious, sort of rebellious, kind of wild, but one of the most caring kids ever. He's like me. He's a giver. He wants to help, even when it seems hopeless. Think about it, though. Sally is having to turn off the internet. She's having to unplug the internet on this little goblin. We're not even there anymore. You can't tell me in that house she can't hear him up there addressing Inward Boy, William Glory Hole, Mash Home Mafia, Katie. There's always a new villain of the week, but it's always William Glory Hole and Inward Boy. What kind of a parent doesn't monitor what their kids are putting out? Sally pampers him and treats him like a little toddler, 40-year-old toddler. You would think, with that kind of oversight, she would have some interest in protecting him. If your kid takes your car and they're running all over the road, you take the keys away. But then the kid gets the keys again and starts going out and wrecking everything, getting all over the road. You take their keys again, and they keep doing it. Cyraxx does the same thing over and over and expects different results, so maybe Sally does the same thing. Ed probably tells Sally, in my opinion, "Oh, you need to do this," and "It's my son." No, it stopped being your son a long time ago. It's a goblin now. I wonder about if there was ever any family meals with them, if there was ever a time where they ate and it just became unbearable because Chance ruined every single dinner. I do wonder that. And I think I heard, and if it's correct, this doesn't shock me, that there's a lock on the outside of his door. Maybe he gets sent to his room and Sally locks his door and says, "You can come out." Think about the extreme of that. You have to unplug the internet. If he gets out of control, you have to lock the door. It's the equivalent of snatching something dangerous out of a small child's hand when they won't put it down. Chance is on the freaking internet. One of the most dangerous tools he has proven time and time again. He has misused it. He's antagonized people. He has caused their family so much trouble. And yet, and I do wonder what kind of person Ed is. Maybe Ed's addicted to porn. I don't know. Maybe he's addicted to it. Maybe he has to have the internet on. Maybe this Sally just sits around and watches videos all day. If I had to, and it would suck, I would cut the internet off, have my phone, use my data. Don't give the goblin anything, any electronics whatsoever. This dude could have a 1997 prototype 0 megapixel camera and he would still turn it on, do terrible covers, call out the trolls. That's the problem. There's nobody in that household, nobody he respects that's going to tell him. There's nothing to occupy his time. I wonder if Sally ever tried to put him in some kind of program to get him out there with other people just like him. But maybe it just took too much work, or maybe Cyraxx, and he would probably tank it intentionally. Because he didn't want to go back, or he'd fake being sick, and Sally would just get tired of it. Okay, Chances, go up in your room. I don't mind letting my son play Xbox with his friends. I don't. Chance doesn't have any real friends, and she's letting him go online and talk to these buddy trolls, having them direct his life. He's so gullible and desperate for some kind of human interaction. And as we've said with Lorne, how is Lorne not looking? Remember Lorne? I'm sure you all do. I know I'm good looking. And then he's the melted ice cream cone, half abominable snowman with a crooked, broken dink. Lorne and Cyraxx have let their little Johnson be their entire identity. I'm pretty sure Cyraxx thinks only with that head. I don't know. Maybe he thinks if he gets enough notoriety, he'll have access to all the women he could want. All the girls he could want. How much could you take? How much could you take if you were Cyraxx? How far would you let it go? Thanks to Low T, despite the fact that he punched this little goblin and Cyraxx sat out on the porch and cried and cried and cried, thanks to Low T, he is back and worse than ever. Smugrax, he does that little click when he talks like, sorry about your luck. Ugh. No one has told him the court system's not gonna stop everything they're doing to help you get back your terrible music. William, you're going away for 20 years for stealing my music. He doesn't even understand the legal system. And you can't just say this is what everybody's doing without any proof, but yet he still continues to do so. Can you imagine as an adult and you work a 9 to 5, you get a day off on a holiday, and it's 6:30 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, and there's a goblin upstairs pacing around, screaming, yelling, and you get up and you come up could you please stop? No, Mom, no, this is important. A goblin that you would lose patience with so quickly. Ed clocked him in the face, from what I understand, and he would claim he lived in an abusive household after he started all the fights and put his hands on people. Well, gee. Sunday morning, didn't matter. Little goblin was in the attic going off. I don't know if Sally's sleep schedule has transformed into his, where he hibernates all day, then comes out at night, crawls out of the attic, crawls out of the closet, from under his bedbug cover. Again, look at Ed though. Ed can't even take care of himself. How could he take care of Cyraxx? How could Sally take care of Cyraxx? I don't care about their finances, but it's obviously they're not doing well. What about Christmas, with the goblin coming around, knowing how they're struggling, not contributing to anything? I give my kids money for Christmas, or I did my son. My daughter doesn't need it anymore, but my son, I give him money so he can buy his mom a gift. A decent gift, not just here, go to Dollar Tree, and I'm not making fun of anybody, but I have the opportunity to be able to do that. Chancey Poo is given $20 to go out and buy them blankets or whatever it was. And it doesn't really matter. I'm not Sally, I don't make that decision, but I wonder if she said, here's $20, we need new blankets, please go get them. I don't know what kind of rat traps or bed bug spray or ants, because I'm sure they're up there, or roaches that Sally even bothers to try. If they don't just lock him up there and they don't do anything unless he complains. Seeing the bugs and the mice, and it's so gross. But yet you gave him $20 to spend on what you needed. Holidays would be a disaster. You gonna invite anybody over to your house? Who's coming over there? Is Cyraxx gonna be locked in the attic? Even if you did have friends, would you allow them to come over? Would you go to their house for Christmas or Thanksgiving and just Leave him at home, locked in the attic. Maybe slide a hot pocket under the door. As I've stated before, I know this goblin is in diapers by now. He has to be. What has he done that we don't know about? Has he terrorized the neighbors? Flashed women that are walking by? What has he done that we don't know about? If he's willing to do things that he knows he's going to get caught, things that he knows he's going to get exposed for, what would he do when nobody's watching? Look how he talks to Sally, even if he's on stream. There's no discipline in that household. There's no hope for Sally or Ed, and Sally is probably praying the state intervenes any day now. Would you feel safe letting your child, even if they are a 40-year-old toddler, swim in the water, especially with no strength whatsoever? Mommy, I need you to come in here and help me swim. Get closer. I'm going to try to swim in the deep end. Average, everyday things would be a freaking nightmare. If he did have family members that care, would they have called Sally up and said, look, man, he's online doing this. It's going to end badly for you. He's challenging people and cursing them out. It looks like he's been talking. He is not a predator. That right there is all you need to know. That's all you need to know. If they ever went out anywhere, Chance with his hands in his pocket and he walks on his heels like some kind of robot. He's hunched over, probably terrified that a troll's going to pop out of nowhere. I feel like we should make a game with the Wilkins family on one side and William and N-word boy on the other. Trolls versus goblins. And thank God the trolls will always win. He's not doing chores, none at all. And if he does, he's going to complain about it the entire time. I can't, Mom. I'm up there producing my music. I'm doing my artwork. Then I'm coming online telling everyone I'm not okay and to sympathize with me and to feel sorry for me. At some point, you would have to step in and there would be some very harsh punishment doled out. With Cyraxx, physical punishment wouldn't even work anymore. He's just too far gone. The screaming in that household, Sally's exasperation, probably a lot of tears. It's not a healthy environment. I couldn't even imagine being the parent of this goblin. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one.
Hey, it doesn't make sense to me, dude.
It's different. Don't get bad. High difference of my winning. Show do good now that swing. Yeah, I got nice vision. Don't my family, no my brothers.